What's up, guys? Today, today we're going to talk about the new release on the 29th of March, Orcs Must Die Unchained. Now, this is the open beta, so I have saw gameplays myself of the closed beta, which people have put up, which I believe you could sign. I think you could sign up to, and then only certain people got invites to the beta. But basically, the game's sort of like a new MOBA, in the fact that you have got your survival, which is the original game mode of the Orcs Must Die franchise. Then they've released a new game mode, which is Siege 5v5. Now, Siege, I believe, is similar to, most game modes in the MOBA arena, where 5v5, you'll have certain lanes where, like, minions will push on, then obviously the other team can put down traps. The only difference between other games like League of Legends is mainly the fact that in League of Legends you only get your towers. In this game, you will get your own traps. And I believe there are certain situations where if you lead your minions through, they're unaffected by certain traps. Not 100% sure though. Basically, all I've played so far is the classic game mode because that's what I prefer. If I really want to play Siege or something, then I'd possibly just go and play League of Legends or Smite or anything like that. So I enjoy them type of games. Now, this game is quite fun, honestly. It gets quite hectic, as you can see in the video now. This is where I realised that I shouldn't have been that close up because my character's not really a melee character and I should have stayed back. This is the character that I didn't really get to choose because by the time I was in the game, everyone already chose the other four characters that are first available to you. So they must have picked out their favourites out of the group, which I did not because I prefer the blow with the crossbow. But as you can see at the start of the wave, it's quite simple, quite easy. So all you have to do really is just keep your team, do as much heavy hitting damage as possible, and obviously if it gets too much for your team or your team's not doing good enough, you can back out to your traps, which is, well, if you look in the map, the blue sections on the map is where you can build traps. The other sections are where you can actually go and run towards. But obviously you won't be able to set traps there, so when the bigger and harsher minions come out, it will be harder for you to do. Now, you might think, oh, it's just the same as Orcs Must Die. If I've already got Orcs Must Die, then what's the point of me downloading it? Well, I think it's going to have new content compared to the Orcs Must Die. Now, obviously, the main difference you can probably see anyway at the start is it's 5 versus the minions, which I believe, I haven't owned the original Orcs Must Die, so I can't actually say it or not because I should have bought them when they've been cheap on Steam, but I haven't. But I believe it was only co-op with 2 players, which I think is correct. If I'm not, just correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe it is. Now, I think that's quite good for the fact that it's increased the amount of player count you can have, which I think was the one thing that Orcs Must Die was actually missing out. Now, I think it's quite fun. Like, I've only played a couple of games and I've enjoyed it. I've been messing about, as you can see in the video, where I'm just didn't even know what I was doing. I was just healing myself. I like the aspect of the traps and everything, which I always looked like. I always looked the like of the Orcs Must Die franchise because I like the old tower defense, but I don't like. I'm not into the sort of 2D tower defenses. So to me, this was quite actually a good choice. Now you might think, well, what's the point of me even bothering downloading it or so on? Well, to me, it's just another game. Like, it's a game that any of you can download. You know, it's quite an easy game to run. I mean, I really can't see anyone really struggling that much to run the game because I think the minimum specs, even Intel HD 4000 graphics, can apparently run this. Which, whether or not it's true, I don't know, but I know it is like, it's not exactly a hard hitting game, is it really? It's quite a cartoon looking style. Sort of like League of Legends, really, if you think about it, but obviously it's it's a completely different view to League of Legends. So obviously, it will run a lot harder than League of Legends anyway. But at the same time, the game still looks amazing, even though it's not. It's not a hard hitting game. It looks good. It's quite a beautiful game, really, when you think about it. And it's quite a simple game as well. So it's not like, oh, I can't get into it. I can't. I've tried playing MOBA games. I can't play it. I'm just not good at them. I mean, look, if you look at this, it's a very simple game. There's not much to it really on the against the minions. Obviously, siege is something that you get into maybe after you've got a little bit bored of just going against minions all the time. But at the end of the day, it's still quite fun. Now, for reasons I don't know, I believe a lot of people have misread what's going on with the game, and basically they've all complained saying, "Oh, it's not free to play. You've got microtransactions, so on, so on." But look at League of Legends, look at Smite. There is a lot of microtransactions in that game to get stuff like skins and so on. Now, I think the microtransactions in this game is mainly, what I presume will be characters really, because there are more characters in the game than just these 5. Now, I've got a funny feeling that it's going to be sort of similar, like they're going to try and do it like League of Legends and stuff, and try and involve more characters, and you basically purchase them characters, or you absolutely play the game hours on end to earn your way to them characters. Now, I think a lot of people on Steam, like you get a load of kids and stuff who just want a free to play game, they don't have to pay for stuff. And as soon as they find out they have to pay for stuff, they don't want to do it. Now I can understand, because obviously in the game it says free to play, and so you expect to get everything in the game because it's free to play. But I think free to play games are starting to overtake now, for the fact that, I mean, it's a game you can play. Like what I'd do is I like a benchmark or something. But obviously this game, there's no point in really benchmarking a game like this, because obviously it's quite an easy game to run. And obviously, well, my graphics card, obviously it is more of a budget graphics card at the moment, but at the end of the day, it could be useful for some other people to look at. But that's just my view on the game, and I think it's a fantastic game, to be honest, for a free to play. So if anything, just download it. I'll see you later anyway. Cheers, guys.